Hey guys, welcome to Braddels Gaming and to another episode of my Far Cry 5 community creation series. In this series, I play other people's maps from the Far Cry 5 arcade, and like we did last episode, today we're going to be featuring another one of my favorites from the Far Cry 5 arcade. This is The Farm by Gator X8526. The Farm is a multiplayer map in the Deathmatch mode and truthfully pays homage to the American farm setting where the world of Far Cry 5 largely takes place. However, what you might notice is that the creator seems to favour a more post-apocalyptic theme with their environmental lighting choices, choosing a golden early morning or early evening hue where the sun and fog mixes to create an atmospheric, almost polluted sky consistent with many apocalyptic media and pop culture. For example, think the worlds of WALL-E or Blade Runner 2049. Now, whether this was intentional or not, I think it really helps to build a backstory for this map, but also separates it from the Far Cry 5 world of Montana and other farm maps found in the Far Cry 5 arcade. Consequently, this makes the map quite unique and shows how much difference lighting and environment can go in shaping the atmosphere, tone and mood of a map. Also notable is the setting for the farm, which takes place in the clearing of a deep, thick forest. One of the great attributes to any multiplayer map for players playing these maps is allowing us as players to write our own stories and narratives for the map we are playing. While some maps are directly linked to particular settings or scenarios where players will use their existing knowledge in those subjects to conform to those narratives, for example a recreation of the Clean House mission from Modern Warfare where players already know the backstory and will be playing a map of this caliber to honour a previous memory they had and as such replay it. I feel maps like The Farm, because they do not conform to a particular existing story or theme, gives us as players the ability to use our own imaginations to make up our own backstories for these particular types of maps. And in The Farm's case, my version for the backstory of this map is that this is one of the few resourceful farms left, hidden in the middle of a thick forest, where many private contractors have been sent to eliminate rival factions, securing the farm and its resources for those that have hired them. This is pro number 1. The lighting, the setting and the wider environment, and how the simple application of these tools in the Far Cry 5 map editor can go a long way to completely changing the way players view your map and thus play it. Inducing imagination in players is one of the great privileges of building maps for them, but also a great privilege to be on the receiving end of as well. Now, in terms of more of what the map actually is, I really do enjoy the way Gator has structured up this map. It really does look like a farm, which is obviously the critical element to any farm map of course, but the way this map allows players from so many different playstyles to come together is really well mastered in how the map is set up. For example, the map has many vertical vantage points that players who like to scope out enemy players from afar can use them to snipe them from long distances, while staying immediately out of danger themselves. There's watchtowers, roofs to be climbed on, a slightly inclined hill, and a huge silo which is one of the key focal points in the map. Conversely, players that prefer a much more attacking style of gameplay can use the close confines of the barn centered in the map and the many hay bales scattered across the fields. Word of warning though, these bales can easily be destroyed by explosions or the deadly cultivator tractor on the map, which is still easily the most satisfying, bloody and hilarious way to get a kill in Far Cry 5 multiplayer. Albeit, I unfortunately did not make the most of this in today's gameplay. I had a few chances, but my excitement over the sheer firepower of the Deagle meant I shot my targets in the tractor before running them down. Still, drive-by shootings are pretty fun too, especially as a farmer in a tractor. This segues into my final pro for this map, which is the assortment of gameplay objects within the playable area. First off, there are weapon pickups basically scattered everywhere throughout the entire farm, very Battle Royale-esque, and this is complemented by the equal standing every player has at the beginning of the game, as all players only have access to a choice of 4 varying pistol loadouts. My personal favourite is the Deagle, a one-shot hand cannon as we have all come to know it. If though you'd prefer to use a primary weapon, be thankful that Gator the creator has supplied you with an abundance of primary weapon pickups to choose from spread out all over the map, meaning anyone should be able to find one in a hurry. Another key gameplay object, or rather objects, the creator has placed down is explosive barrels all around the map. This guarantees chaos for the full 15-minute duration of the map's countdown timer, or less, considering the kill rate on this map is generally quicker than the 2 kills per minute required to reach the 30 kill limit in 15 minutes. I can't recall if I've witnessed it yet, but I can just imagine somebody either misfire or intentionally shoot an explosive barrel, killing a player nearby. What a gaming moment that would be. The other notable additions of gameplay objects in the map is the tractor, as I mentioned earlier, and mounted guns. And as you guys know from the last episode of my Far Cry 5 community creation series, I am indeed a very cheeky but fond advocate for mounted guns. It speeds up the game, makes the game feel more tense, and offers a challenge to all players on the map to eliminate this threat. This map similarly counterbalances the mounted guns, like with the stairs, as whilst they have great vantage points, are also pretty well exposed and open to being flanked from their sides. Players can use the cover of the buildings to either side, climb on top of them and do a jump takedown, or use the outer bush on the boundaries of the map to sneak around. I believe there is also some spawning locations positioned nearby to the mounted guns, but outside their field of view, meaning there's many mitigation strategies in place to stop a player from camping on them for the entirety of the game. As you'll see from the gameplay, many people try to make most use of these mounted guns, but no one is really able to make any significant impact with them. Instead, you have a battle that ensues over the control of them and the hill, which makes for a really exciting gunfight there throughout the game. Now, because this is one of my favourite multiplayer maps to play in the arcade, there is, to a level, some sort of bias, I suppose, in that I find it difficult to come up with any sort of considerable improvements or cons that the map has, or that the creator can improve upon. For the most part, I would pretty much open it to interpretation from you guys watching this map on the video, or if you've played it in person, or not in person, but if you actually played it. Can you come up with any sort of improvements that the map maker can implement to improve the experience on this map, or is there anything that you really like? Any praise that you can give to the creator? I know this is a small channel, so I'm not expecting any comments, but just do some internal reflection, I suppose, because often internally reflecting on your own maps, but also other people's maps, is how I think we all improve as map editors or appreciators of maps in general. The only noticeable thing I can really come up with is the issue with the sheer firepower of the Deagle. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but what it can sometimes mean is that the game often turns into a Deagle fest, and other players aren't really looking for pickups on the ground, or they're not even using the other pistol loadouts, they're literally just using the Deagle. This can have drawbacks and potentially what the map and its gameplay could offer if the Deagle was instead removed. And I'm thinking it could perhaps be an interesting social experiment to see how players would adapt to this change if the Deagle was removed. Not that I'm actually going to do that, but just a thought. But yeah, otherwise, this wraps up another Far Cry 5 Community Creations episode with a look at another one of my favourite multiplayer maps in the Far Cry 5 arcade. If you enjoyed the video, as always, please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for future channel notifications if you're new around here, and to give this map a go as well, support the creator. I know it can be quite difficult to find multiplayer games at this stage in Far Cry 5's lifespan, but try and get a friend together and try and start your own lobby. And what I find is that when you have at least 2 people starting a lobby together, that the lobby fills up pretty quickly, because people are more likely to gravitate to a lobby that has at least 2 people in it, as opposed to a lobby that you just start by yourself. So see if you can try and get one of your friends, one of your buddies, to start a lobby with you, and I'm sure you'll be able to play this map and a lot of other maps that you want to pick yourselves as well. But otherwise, I'm Braddels Gaming, I'm signing out now, and remember to have yourselves a great day.
Surprise! You're close to victory.